Hello everybody, welcome to another Town Salem video. Today we're going to go over the tournament results. So this is the first tournament that we ever done in the server, at least for Town Salem 2, and having it in like this format of the best custom list would move on. So people voted on like which custom list that they like the most, and they could rate it from a scale of 1 to 7. The one with a higher score moved on, the one with the lower score got eliminated, and basically how placements are going worked was if you were eliminated in the same round, then whoever had the lowest score got the lowest placement. So obviously this had a score of 3.33, so it got placed below this one because lower score. But anyways, and then I believe later on you will this one made it to the third round score of 4. This one got eliminated earlier but had a score of 5. But this one still placed higher just because it got to a further round. But anyways, yeah, scale of 1 to 7, people voted. Here are the results. So the lists that were eliminated the first round. So this list got 8th place. It's list 4 by Oswoop. Has a bunch of T-Pows, all the Apocalypse, and then NKs and all the NEs. So this is kind of like your standard like evil spam list. I'm kind of used to seeing these in customs, especially in ones that I don't host. Like a lot of people will do something kind of like this, just a bunch of evils just to see what happens. The list was definitely something interesting because nobody did like the list like this, so it was definitely unique. So whether or not it played well, it's just kind of eh. I don't really like the inclusion of Shroud just because they're weaker against like most of these other roles, but I mean, they could at least kill somewhat, but usually it's not ideal. You need a T-Pow to stay alive so you could actually take care of Apocalypse as Shroud and Werewolf. And a bunch of other roles like Shroud. Shroud was more incentivized just not to kill because you didn't want to take people out. And I feel like Shroud should have been replaced with like maybe another WW and a Arsonist instead. That way the list would be a bit more balanced, but otherwise, I mean, it was definitely different, so it made it more interesting. And also, you can see that I have 4 T-Pows, which currently 4 T-Pows isn't possible in custom. They capped it at 3 for some reason, which is probably a glitch, but we did this before the glitch was made, so it got eliminated beforehand, so that's why there's 4 T-Pows. And yeah. So 7th place, list 6 by Town Executioner or Subtune. Um, this one was basically Annie's Revenge. We have Annie's Revenge for that uses Coven instead of Apocalypse, and this guy just decided to do the exact same thing, but all he did was replace Coven with Apocalypse, and that's it. So it's the exact same stuff. Valley is just not the most interesting list. I mean, most of the time nothing really happens because, well, the only person killing is Berserker, and then Playbearer is going to be slow on Infect, so it's basically waiting for Baker to give bread to 3 people and then just win. So, just not the most interesting thing, sadly, but... And it works a lot better with Coven just because Coven is actually killing, so you actually have different roles for remembering stuff, but here it just is eh. So in 6th place we have List Free, and that was by Signer. This list, I feel like it got eliminated way too early because it was actually kind of good. Because Marshall definitely made it more interesting as Apocalypse could. A lot of times you had too many Apocalypse transforming and Town had no hope, but with Marshall, like, you can counter that. I believe the only reason why this got placed so low is because most people just are not a fan of Pirate, apparently. I believe that was like the main complaint. Otherwise, I believe the list was great, and it should have placed higher, but it just didn't. It got eliminated early on, sadly. And then here we got another Annie Revenge style list, and this one was by Raven Darkness. And originally this was supposed to be a Wild West style list, but definitely got turned unique, so we had to change it up, and the guy just decided to make a Annie Revenge list. And then also included Shrouds for some reason, which I don't know why. I probably would have made it WW, but I mean, the guy wanted Shroud, so we kept it with Shroud. And I mean, this list was at least better than other Annie's Revenge just because no perfect town, so town could actually do something, but still, it wasn't like ideal. Like, you still couldn't really do much. I mean, the list was kind of boring because Amnesiacs would usually do nothing, but it's still better than this. So for the two lists I got eliminated second round, first we have list 2, and this was by Buddy. This is basically like a standard apocalypse, but you have Arsonist. So Arsonist was like the one gimmick of this. Didn't really do much. And then most people didn't like the inclusion of Mayor over like Prosecutor, Marshal, or I forget, Jailer, because you couldn't do much to like limit a box numbers, and usually Baker turns, everybody dies, the Pac wins. So that's why most people didn't like the list. Just Baker is usually OP in these kind of lists. And that's kind of like the same reason why this one wasn't liked. Because once again, Baker just gives bread to 3 people and then everybody dies and then Pucks usually just win. However, I think this might have gotten more liked just because, I mean, Jesters are kind of more fun to deal with than just boring lists, but otherwise, this one had limited claim space, which was another kind of complaint. Like, a lot of times as Jester, just, it was kind of obvious that you were Jester because of the limited claim space, and most of the time actual heals were just quiet, so, so I kind of liked it, but I feel like if Mayor or Monarch would have just been Marshal or Prosecutor, it would have done better, but yeah, just needs claim space, and then one of these has to be Marshal or Prosecutor, and it would be much better, but otherwise it was still decent. In second place, these are the final two, but this one was by 101 Ways to Win. And as you can see, it fixed one of the main problems that some of the other lists had, which was town didn't have a good way to deal with multiple epochs transforming. So this one has Prosecutor, so town could actually hang 2 people in one day in case multiple people transform. Also, another good thing about this list was the NA, like, you didn't have both Baker and Soul Collector, so there could only be like one mass killing role, as I would probably call it, but basically Baker can take out like most of the lobby, and so can SC actually takes all of them out. And only having to deal with one instead of risking both of them transforming at the same time and just ending the game instantly definitely is a positive of this list. NK was also kind of good. I mean, having a chance at WW or Arsonist and having another threat for Apocalypse other than town definitely made the list more interesting. Still, having Strauss spawn or SK that couldn't really do much probably wouldn't have been best, but still it makes the game more interesting to at least have one NK. And then in first place we had Jester, and this list, it doesn't have a confirmed Prosecutor or a confirmed Marshal, but it does have 2 T-Pow slots. So there's a high likelihood that you at least get one of the good T-Pows, being Jailer, Marshal, Prosecutor, and that can deal with the Pox more easily. So this definitely made wins more interesting. Like, it was definitely a lot more balanced, like, instead of one-sided. Like, a lot of these lists were one-sided, like, Apoc always won this. I believe Apoc also always won this. I think Town won this a bunch. And Town won. Yeah. Usually Apoc would win Like, this one definitely had a lot of town wins. This one was a lot more balanced and made the game more interesting. This one actually had an arsonist one the last time we played it, so that was unexpected, but it definitely shows that the list is definitely more balanced, and I think the random neutrals also make it more fun and interesting to play. So I'm kind of glad that I got first place, because this list was definitely one of the more fun ones to play, compared to some of the other ones that were just kind of like, I can't wait to move on to a different one, but this one was actually good. So anyways, that's basically it for all the tournament results. I will be having a new tournament for Town Trader, and if you guys want a submit list for that, you can join the Discord, and there will be infos and the event channel, which is right here, but if you want to participate in that. And I'll also be doing videos on the Town Trader tournament. Also, if you're interested in watching some of these lists be played, I will probably make a playlist of them and link that down below of like all the tournament games. So that's going to be it for now. Make sure to subscribe and join the Discord. Bye.